I'm here with Tina once more, and we're going to go over some very important things for long haul COVID, and especially those of you who have lost your sense of taste and smell. And maybe you have ringing in the ears. Maybe you have some other things that that seem to be plaguing us since COVID. And go through some of the protocols that will help you out to be able to get your sense of taste and smell back. I've watched numerous people be able to get their sense of taste and smell back within a day or two by going through these simple techniques. So one of the first things is all of our techniques around the head and neck are extremely helpful, but of most importance is using the device on the forehead, especially around the eyebrows, up at the top of the nose, humming with that to get all of those senses to start behaving a little better. And then I like to take the device and put a glove over the ends of it. In particular, when you use an essential oil, and this is a food grade peppermint I'm going to use. When you use an essential oil, you don't want to use that stuff on plastic. It eats away plastic, and you don't want whatever happens when an oil eats away at some plastic. So we'll put a drop of peppermint, but I could use something like lime or lemon, or I could use some of my other favorites would be like Melissa, which is a can't think of the name of it, but also I'll use frankincense. I'll use frankincense oftentimes. What were you saying, Tina?
Yeah, frankincense, I was going to say.
Frankincense, and excellent. I want to use things that will help connect several of the brain parts at the same time. Sometimes I'll just go to the kitchen cupboard and take out a strong spice as well, because spices can have that same effect. And I'll put a spice on their tongue and have them chew it up. Even if their brain is not making sense of it, parts of the tongue, there's 4 cranial nerves that go to the tongue, they're all getting a calibration off of that sense that you put on their tongue. So now I've got a couple drops of peppermint oil on there. I'll usually turn the device onto a fairly high level or an algorithm, pop that thing in. And I'll start having them go through the mouth protocols that are part of the TMJ or part of the headache migraine treatment, and have them start stimulating that whole area where it's exploding in that sense of the oil or the taste of a nutrient like an herb, all at the same time, because I want to give their brain lots and lots of input. And the other thing we'll do is just a little bit of scraping around the face and sides of the neck, just to make sure the eustachian tube is functioning and pulling things out. And just by doing that process, now this time I just used peppermint oil. Next time I might use lime or lemon, or I might use some of the other tree oils or different things that'll give me a real sharp grab on my central nervous system. Just make sure they're non-toxic, that they're food grade essential oils if you use those, or use your things right out of the cupboard. Anyway, that explosion that it gives us for our brain helps bring the brain back on track. And that vibration on both sides at the same time helps the brain start calibrating and getting the right and left sides of the vagus nerve and the right and left sides of the facial and trigeminal. It gets them all communicating. The olfactory, all of these nerves are very important to get the sense of taste and smell back on track. Interestingly, you get that sense of taste and smell back on track, we see their energy levels pop right back up to normal too. So Extremely helpful for our people suffering with long haul COVID, that they do a lot of stimulus right around in here. Sometimes we'll even do that scraping process from the fingertips all the way up using the side wings of the device, because we want to get that stimulus. We want to wake up the brain and all of its connections. That seems to be the one common thing with especially the COVID is sort of a dysfunction. There was one other technique that probably would be good to go over, and this is where we'll take a soft attachment and put it on the end of the tuner. We'll turn it on to the red pattern. That's the algorithm button. We'll turn it on to the red one, put that right at the belly button for a cycle. It's just like waves of the ocean. So we'll run 1 cycle on red, then we'll run about 4 cycles on green. So just switch it into the green mode, put that back on the belly button. That's very important for waking up the vagus nerve connections down in the tummy region. And after we do that at the belly button, we'll put one of these soft, clear attachments on it and start kind of tracing the large intestine. And we'll take that and just follow that all the way around its path. If you need to, look that up on the internet. And we end with it right sitting on the bladder, which is about 2-3 inches down below the belly button. And we'll hold it there for 20 seconds. And then we'll repeat that process, that circular motion, just following that intestinal tract. And usually I don't go quite as fast as I'm doing right here, but I just want to show you the pathway. But fairly slowly, just bring that clear around and wake up all of those connections with the vagus nerve that starts in the brainstem, goes all the way down into that region. So it wakes it up and gets things to start communicating. We have seen so many people with the long haul symptoms that this has taken care of that right off the bat.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. Great
You are
information.
welcome.